right, let's talk about money. And, one of the most powerful things I've learned is how to spot the little money habits that quietly hold people back. So that's what we're going to do here. Break down those common traps and, more importantly, figure out how to escape them. Okay, so let's just jump right in with a really important question. If you boil everything down, what is the one single habit that truly separates wealthy people from everyone else when it comes to their money? Because here's the secret. It's not really about how much you earn, it's about what you do with it. Robert Kiyosaki, the author of Rich Dad, Poor Dad, he absolutely nailed this. He basically said that when it comes to paying bills, people fall into one of two camps. That's it. And figuring out which camp you're in right now, well, that's the first step to completely changing your financial life. So let's start with Act 1, securing your foundation. Look, before you even think about growing your wealth, you absolutely need a solid base to build on. This is all about defense. It's the strategy that protects you and sets the stage for everything else to come. And the absolute cornerstone of that strong financial foundation, it's this one simple habit. Pay yourself first. It sounds easy, right? But believe me, how you do it is the real game changer here. Now check this out, because this slide illustrates those two methods perfectly. On the left, that's what most of us do. The paycheck comes in, we immediately pay rent, phone bill, groceries, go out with friends, and then, maybe, if there's anything left over, we try to save it. But the wealthy? They just flip the script. Look at the right. The paycheck lands, and the very first bill they pay is to themselves, into their savings. Then, they just live off whatever's left. It's such a small change in the order of operations, but the impact is absolutely massive. So how do you actually do it? It's simple. The second your paycheck hits your bank account, you transfer at least 10% into a totally separate savings account. That transfer, it is not optional. You have to treat it like your rent or your mortgage. It is a non-negotiable bill. And the first goal for this money is to build up a 6-month emergency fund. That becomes your fortress. Once that's built, then we can start talking about going on the offensive. Okay, the second part of having a strong foundation is just this. You have to know your numbers. I mean, think about it. You can't get to a destination if you don't even know where you're starting from. People who are successful with money know what they own, what they owe, and where every dollar is actually going. And this right here is exactly why knowing your numbers is so critical. It's the antidote to something we call lifestyle inflation. This is that dangerous trap where as you make more money, you just spend more money. You get a raise, you get a nicer car. You get a bonus, you get a bigger apartment. It's a financial hamster wheel that keeps you running in place. Tracking your numbers is what makes you mindful enough to break that cycle. All right, let's move on to Act 2, plugging the leaks. I want you to think of your finances like a bucket. It really doesn't matter how much water you pour into it if there are holes all over the bottom, right? So right now, we're going to find those holes where your wealth is just quietly draining away. Now, we're going to focus on two of the biggest leaks that most people don't even see, getting way too comfortable with high-interest debt and paying way more in taxes than you're legally required to. First up, the normalization of bad debt. It's become completely, totally normal to use debt for little everyday things, clothes, dinner, gifts. We've somehow been conditioned into thinking this is fine. But honestly, it's like a constant slow drain on your financial health. And here's the real gut punch. The average interest rate on a credit card is a staggering 22%. I mean, just think about that. At that rate, any little rewards or points or cash back you think you're getting are just gone. They're completely wiped out. The credit card companies are in business for one reason. They're betting you won't pay off your balance. The easiest way to avoid this whole mess is to just adopt one simple, really powerful rule. And it's this one right here. If you can't afford to buy something with the cash you have right now, you shouldn't be buying it with debt. Period. It's just a crystal clear guideline that will save you from so much financial pain down the road. And now for the last and often the biggest leak in the bucket, taxes. Over the course of your life, this is probably going to be your single largest expense. And while paying taxes is a fact of life, how you approach it can make a world of difference. So let's be super clear. This isn't about illegally evading taxes. This is about legally minimizing them by actually understanding the rules of the game. The wealthy max out their tax-sheltered accounts, like a Roth IRA. They might set up a business structure that allows them to deduct legitimate expenses. It is not about cheating the system. It's about playing the game intelligently so you don't just hand over more money than you have to. Okay, so our foundation is secure.
The leaks are plugged. Now it is time for the fun part. Act 3, going on the offensive. This is where we shift our entire mindset away from just defending and protecting what we have to actively building and growing real wealth.
And this quote right here, it sums up the entire philosophy of this section. Think about it. There is a limit to how much you can save. You can only cut your expenses down to zero. But on the earning and investing side, the upside potential is literally infinite. This chart just visualizes that idea perfectly. Saving is essential, don't get me wrong, but it hits a ceiling. It is a finite game. Earning and investing, on the other hand, is an infinite game. And that is how you truly build wealth. The core idea here is to get your money to start working for you, instead of you always having to work for it. And we do this through investing. It's the engine that's going to power real, long-term wealth growth. And why is investing so critical? Because of this silent wealth killer called inflation. Every single year, the price of everything goes up. That means the cash that's just sitting in your bank account is actually losing its purchasing power. It is becoming less valuable. If your money isn't growing faster than inflation, you are, by definition, getting poorer every year. So, what's the game plan? How do you go on the offensive? First, you invest. That money that overflows from your emergency fund, it goes into a diversified portfolio so it can actually outpace inflation. But defense alone never wins the championship. You also have to actively work to increase your income. Ask for that pay raise. Start a side hustle. Because remember, the earning side is where the unlimited growth potential is. You know, the biggest mistake people make here is just waiting. They're always waiting for the perfect time to invest. They think they don't have enough money, or they don't have enough time, or they don't know enough. But listen, there will always be an excuse not to start. And the longer you put it off, the harder you have to work to catch up later. The cost of just waiting is incredibly high. So I'm going to leave you with this final thought. Your money is just a tool. That's it. It's not good. It's not bad. It's just a tool. The real question is, are you just letting it sit there in the toolbox getting rusty? Or are you actively using it day by day to build the future that you actually want? The choice is entirely yours.